Welcome everyone, and apologies for being a little late. This is Contact Lost, yet another episode on yet another Thursday, and today we're doing the second round of our Pyra pre-show. We're pitting the Germans against the French, as has been on many occasions over thousands of years, but now fortunately only with toy soldiers, not real ones. And most of all, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Army Painter and Weyland-Yutani, as well as our community of Patreons. I'm Joker. My co-host this week, he looks to be on the opposite side, in the opposite corner of myself on the screen. And our guests are Olivier of Team France
Hello.
and Malte of Team Germany.
Hello.
Right, so let's get straight to it. And I'm going to start with Olivier, as champions get the priority in the interviews. So, being the WTC champions, do you feel like extra pressure having now inherited the captaincy bag? Just you need to defend it, get back-to-back championships, and how does it translate to attending Pyra?
Yeah, well, I do not feel the pressure to exert any performance or the performance like we've done last year. Maybe I'm stupid and I should feel the pressure, but I'm not. The the space where I'm feeling pressure is on trying to transform the win we got last year into something durable. So winning the WTC back to back, in my opinion, is not something serious to try, because at most you can prepare a lot and make sure you are one of the eligible candidate to win when you start the event, and then things happen. So you will have luck, you will have bad luck, you will encounter rosters that will be tough for against your roster that will be easy. Your nemesis will be killed by USA the round before meeting you. So that it's not really serious to just aim for the title, uh,
Mm-hmm.
for one title, and even more for back to back. But what is serious is trying to build on the title something that will long, and that's what we are aiming in France. We were not on the podium before this title. It was uh, building up the strategy we built up during the three last years with the three previous captain. It was Zeka that won the title, me the year before, and Laurent the first year we started this method. And now the objective is making sure every year we are one of those contender that everyone fears to encounter, and everyone feels that we can win the title. But that's it. The rest is for the competition. So second part was about Pyra. So yeah, of course, Pyra is important in this season, especially for the world champion. Pyra has become like the MSI of 40k for those who are watching League of Legends. It's the mid-season, and we are having all the best team in the world. To be to say it simply. So it is important. It is still a training, so we are not trying hard to win the event, but we are trying hard to test our methods and our players. We are having a lot of new players in France. Brought the team in Leoben that was 7 new players and me,
Mm-hmm.
because one of the part of making sure we are going on a long road on the top competitive team is making sure we have a very deep collective that is top word players that we can find 8 of among them to play in WTC. So that's the first step. Deepen the pool of the player
Mm-hmm.
we can choose every year, and to deepen the pool of the player we can choose every year, we have to make sure we rotate the player during these international events during the season. That's very important because otherwise the new guys will not feel they have a spot or they have a chance to get to the team, and that's, in my opinion, one of my main obstacle. Or this year I have an 8-man world champion team,
Mm-hmm.
and I will have to decide which one of them is not making the team this year. Uh, and it's gonna be a lot of pressure or a lot of um, uh, a lot of argument against changing the
Mm-hmm.
team. And arguments are going to make sense. They are world champion, but also we'll have to find the new guys that are really pushing. For example, we have a new guy that has never played in international events, that went to Leoben and went first scorer.
Okay.
So we'll have to. And I'm bringing this guy to Pyra as well.
Awesome. And did any of the guys that played last year make it easier for you and decided to take a break for a year, or just, they've won everything, now it's time for retirement, or have
No,
they all applied?
no, absolutely not. They are very, very hungry, and they want to win the title back to back. And
Awesome.
I've made clear I will be very happy to win the title back to back, but it's not my main objective. My main objective is making sure we are able to deliver the same performance with much less effort, so
Mm-hmm.
that we allow other kind of people to enter the collective, and also we prevent the collective from getting 40k burnt out,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot of
Yeah,
investment.
totally understandable. Right. Malte, so last time we spoke, Team Germany didn't really have a lot of structure. Has that changed at last?
Um, yes, we have a good structure. At the moment, we have some. We're missing a captain, sadly, but I hope this will change in due time.
So is
Okay.
there any
So
specific reason why you are missing a captain? Like, is there a selection process for a captain, or like no one has stepped up to the role?
We have we have a head of Team Germany
Mm-hmm.
who builds the structure. Built the structure last year. Decided this year to build a new structure, but finally happened. Real life happened, and he started a lot of great projects. But and one of his projects was finding a good captain for the team to represent the team and lead the team into WTC. But he didn't find one, and now in January, at the end of January, he had to step down. So at the moment, we're missing the two guys who are supposed to lead the team. But
Yeah, the man at the helm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. So, how do you imagine the process will go now? Is there going to be people can apply to become a captain, or is there going to be a selection from the existing members of the team? Is there a plan for that?
We have one. So we have one guy who's doing support, who's ready to step up, and we will just finish this process because, of course, this is our head. So our captain, our head of Team Germany, started a lot of projects. So our new guy, who is highly motivated, needs some time again to get all the projects, and at the end of it, we hope we might even have a captain or not.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, I'm not.
We might as well go without.
No. This is. I would love to have somebody who helps me with some of the WTC internals and something. But just on the side of team dominance, I'm doing the same thing that I did the whole year. I'm trying to find for Team Germany, where can we play, where can we better our team, and go there with the players. And we have a coaching team of 3 coaches. So it's on this side we are fine.
Okay, That's cool.
And
So,
I mean, this is the important side. So
yeah,
in
obviously.
the end,
So, and then I think we can like ask this question to both of you, because Malte, as you've mentioned, you will be looking for a captain. Oliver is the captain. I'll start with Oliver, maybe.
I take Oliver. It's okay for me.
But I do have a question that crossed my mind when you were speaking. That you have a team of top class players and so on and so on. What immediately came to my mind was, the great names of football coaches like Mourinho or Guardiola or Ancelotti and so on, who many people say they wouldn't have achieved that much if their teams were weaker and so on and so on. The counter argument to that is that they need to have a lot of stamina and charisma to actually manage a team of stars in order to reach the levels that they are reaching. Is it the same with you? And what would you say are the qualities that make you a good captain?
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of interesting question.
I know.
Yeah, I would say it is not. It might be similar, but it's not the same as in football, because football or collective sports are not individual or duels.
Yeah.
We are playing 8 duels. Uh, so at the end, the quality of every individuality is very important. It means it doesn't mean the collectivist doesn't count. It does, because the preparation is collective, and the interaction in between the player is important to get the matrix right, to get the estimation of the matchups right. And if the player are not playing team playing at that point, at that moment, um, it can lead to the defeat. So that's the collective part. But the rest is mainly duels. So you need 8 killers, and how the captains operate or leads the team is important, but not as much as the individual skills. But that being said, what is important for those skills um, to thrive is a season, an international season, and the right preparation, and also the right atmosphere during the year. That's important for those individual skills to thrive, and that is what the captains has to do, or the responsibility of the captain. Organize the right season, select the right player, trying to be fair and also trying to be bold on the selection process during the season, and making the player feel comfortable with the choice and also with how the team goes. So, for example, this year I felt that the collective was mature enough to have a say on the other player. So last week I ask every single player of the collective, we are 30 at the moment, uh, to choose the 2 most trustful player they see or they think they are the most trustful player on each codex. It doesn't mean they do not trust the other. It means you have a say on who are the 2 best or trustful player. I prefer trustful because it's not about only being the best. And we realized people were quite sincere or very sincere on this exercise, and everyone uh, converged on the same 2 people on almost every codex. And also, when there was no talent identified on a codex, also that was pretty clear. No one named anyone.
That's fascinating. That's like really sophisticated, but at the same time a testament to like the cohesion of the team, I would say. Malte, uh, I'll bounce this question to you really quickly. Um, what would be the qualities that you would expect from the captain that comes? And I'm asking this because I'm like really interested in this sort of psychology that goes into it. So in my imagination, the captain needs to like be the glue that keeps the team together, but also what I find really interesting is how the captain behaves in like stressful situations. Have you been at the WTC, for example, in any like stressful situations? Did the captain take over the situation and glue people together, bring them together, work on the morale of the team and so on? Or am I going too deep with this?
But, I mean, we had a really great captain last year with Logan, who really helped us out and was great at WTC. Sadly, he also has private life issues, so he cannot return this year. But in the end, the structure of Germany is always built with a captain, but the captain concentrates more on communication in the Kader, in the Mannschaft, and communication with the outside, with other countries, with the WTC. So yeah, it's less of a question for the sports part of the team. Like, right, we have most of the responsibilities, but Olivier just described is more like what would be on our side would be a head coach question.
Okay. All right. So still to tap into this, so do the head coaches at the event like work the players up, or if a slip up happens, if some players brought a worse score than they were supposed to, would you then enter, pat them on the back, and say, don't worry, it's going to get better, and so on and so on? Is there this psychological sort of backup, or the players are autonomous? They don't need that kind of
I
support.
mean, it's sport, right? Of course, you pat them on the back. You try to motivate them. If you want something from them, sometimes you do more than just pat them on the back, but mostly you pat them on the back. So yes, of course, I believe this is part of it.
I think what you describe as a leader role is very accurate, but it doesn't only fall onto the captain's responsibility. The more experienced and the more friendly is the collective, the more shared is this role and this burden, in my opinion. And if someone has gone through a low blow into a game, it's not always the captain that will maybe sound fake, that will um, fix the moral issue. It might be the rest of the team. It might be last year, for example, I was not the captain, and I figured that there was a very particular moment where the stress builds up during the round. It's just before the pairing. Just before the pairing, the captain disappears because there's a captain meeting, and the silence is installing. The player are trying to focus, but also building stress, and that's the moment where you are the most alone during the event. Those in between moments, and we tried to deal with those moments with music, with food, because you're French, with a lot of nice things. And we were singing and dancing to diffuse the tension. And even if all the players were not participating to this very moment, seeing some veterans of the team doing silly things, dancing, singing, I think really helped a lot not to build this pre-game tension. And that was not from the captain. The music was a choice from the captain, but it was a collective responsibility to try to build the right mood and the right atmosphere.
Wow, I really didn't expect that. Malte, does Team Germany do stuff like that as well? Do you dance? Do you sing? Do you smoke cigarettes together? What's the the technique?
Smokers smoke cigarettes together. Yes. And
So
the
I
one who
thought.
met me
I
at
somehow knew.
WTC last year usually met me outside of the hall smoking. So yes, we have
Your techniques.
Whatever works, right?
whatever works. This is the most important part. We're Germans, so we will not eat cheese and dance and sing, but we have ways to deal with our tensions, or we try to. Better said.
Okay.
So are there any other means to build that team spirit or get that collective together, like you've Oliver mentioned? Or is it just that's how it's done?
Is it a question to me?
Yeah.
We can start with you. Yeah.
Yeah. The well, you to build a collective, you have to get life moment together. There's no other way, so that's not really a secret. And to get life moment together, you have to go through a season, and that's it. And the first time, it's not a. I think it's not sorry, it's not astonishing that we got that kind of performance this year. It's the first year France was able to get out of France to go through an international season. So that's the first year. The first year we started was 3 years ago. We started to build the team from all horizon we had in the league. So we had opponent team that had to be brought together. So that was the first difficulty because uh, they were opponent and now they are supposed to be teammates. So first step. Second step was starting to go outside France. We've done that once the year after that in the ETC and build up the financial environment to allow the next year an entire season. And the year we got the title, we went to Pyra 1, Pyra July, February, July, ETC. We've done several boot camp, and it was the first time we went out of France. So also the first time, we have been able to address the international meta and compare how we operated. But also, first year we allow ourselves to bound through a season. No secret there.
Okay.
Yeah, share moment of life.
Right. So Malte, you're obviously doing
If
that as
I
well.
if I can just go and take this point because I really like this point, and we are not we are in the process of trying to replicate exactly that. Usually, Team Germany is playing WTC in the summer and did not play any other team events whatsoever. This is the one thing I really wanted to change, so we try to go to every 8-man team tournament we can. Some of our guys are organizing to go to other team events. They don't have to, but they want to because they love the atmosphere in the team. So yeah, I like that, and we try to replicate France as best as we can with our much smaller pool of players, of course.
So I was actually typing this to Joker as one of the questions that I potentially wanted to ask, and I was looking for confirmation, but I think I just got it from you, that Germany is literally like a black hole on the European map of 40K. Like, I try to follow the scene, around Europe and then the American scene and so on. And if I didn't speak German, I would really have a problem with establishing who is even, like the top player in Germany and so on. I am in your Discord, in Target Priority Discord. I read in German, so I know more than I should. But still, to the third party onlooker, Germany is like, there is nothing. I don't know, or people don't know about your tournaments unless they appear on the, what do you call it, the competitive innovation Goonhammer article. The players, well, they are not anonymous. We know names because we see who goes to the WTC. And I wanted to ask, was that? Now it seems that the answer is no, but was that intentional? Were you trying to be secretive about your tech, your players, your whatever you're bringing, or was that sort of accidental and unintended?
Okay, there will be people also in Germany, maybe even in the chat, who can correct me in a second because they have more experience with the history of the WTC team. But as far as I know, there was always secrecy in all what Team Germany did from I don't know when, and I believe this is like comes down from the old history of, hey, we are the 8 best guys we sent to this tournament, we can outplay everyone, so we don't share our texts, we don't share our secrets, we just go in there, destroy them, and so why would we share anything? We are on the top. But
Makes sense.
makes sense, but it's let me see. 2025, we are not on the top. We don't have the 8 best players in the world or so, or anybody who can go in there and destroy the rest. So we started with in the last year a little bit, and this year we are sharing left and right with everybody who wants to share with us information. We love to, just share information, get all we can get, give our information freely out to everybody who wants it, and we hope it just work.
Yeah, I think you've chosen the best possible way in coming to Pyra. I can't think of a better way to actually do that. So,
I mean, we played Pyra in October, Nations Cup in December, now Pyra, Eurotrash, another Pyra. Let's see if we are able to get anywhere else. But yeah,
all right. So
I mean, this is like 5 8-man team tournaments compared to 2025 to 2021, 5 team tournaments in all these 5 years. So we don't have team tournaments in Germany. We don't have 8-man team tournaments. This is good practice for us.
I mean,
absolutely.
I think only France has the like domestic 8v8 man event.
Yeah, this is like, but we've spoken.
It's hard to pull off.
We've
Yeah,
spoken about the. Yeah, go on, Malte.
So sorry to interrupt you because this is an important part. Yeah, you say, oh, Poland says, oh yeah, France has 8-man team tournaments. We don't have
Poland doesn't.
8-man team tournaments. This is so bad for us for our training. We don't have 5-man team tournaments, guys. This is Germany has I would say the player pool is as big as Poland, but we have only single tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, it very often depends on the players and what they want to do. If the player wants to play singles, they play singles. You can force them, right? But
because you all want to play Votan, that's the reason.
It's just there's a culture of tournaments in Germany that says a single tournament is the most dominant tournament, and we're just starting with team tournaments, and everybody's loving it, and they're saying, hey, why do we play singles all the time? Team is great. So we had like 2 or 3 last year, and this year we get 5 or 6. So it gets better every year, but we're just at the beginning.
Yeah, TTS leagues also help. I see and I find, so maybe implement that too. No, but it's great. It's great that you're pulling the team in that direction. I love it. So, what is the plan for your presence at Pyra? Is it just training, or is it also team building, or are you looking for talent, some unpolished gems? What's the concept? Is there anything that you're trying to get from this Pyra, or is it just play 5, 8 games, come back home, that's it?
Have a captain unveil himself.
I'm sorry, Joker.
Have a captain unveil himself.
Maybe
at the
during the event.
I thought Olivier is my captain now for WTC, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we established that already.
Yeah.
Okay.
About, guys.
Okay.
That's
how EU started. That's it. That's it. Okay.
We will try to bring 8 of our good players. Some of them are still like the biggest part of them are still super young players. More like 3 of them or so go into their second tournament year or are just at the end of their first tournament year. Some of them have played their first WTC, and then we have like 1 or 2 veterans again who said, okay, I don't care about my private life, I will try to help the team. And we go to Pyra, and we are just happy for the opportunity, to be honest, because this is like this is a super hard matchup for us. Germany has like the historical role, and of course, if you talk to somebody of the veterans in Germany, it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna destroy everybody at Pyra and then get win world championship in summer. And I'm like, okay, let's see. England trashed us the last time. Where's the world champion? Where's Poland? Poland too has more world champions in it than the German team by double or so. Sweden beat us the last 2 times, and it's just like we're going as completely underdog into this tournament. We want to try out what we can do, and we're just happy to be there.
Yeah. On our side, we are starting to get our mark into Pyra, because it's going to be the 3rd Pyra we are participating. So at first we are looking for the atmosphere, because it's like vacation. It's the only tournament I know where everyone is in the same hotel, in the middle of nowhere, but still You get the best team in the world in the same hotel, sharing off-table moments, very off-table quality moments in between the team, between the team, and also very good meta and high 40k level experience. So first, we are looking for this kind of atmosphere. It happens only once a year for the moment. We are trying to build that kind of event in France to have two events like that in a season. And second, we know this event is now peak 40k event, so we also aim for good experience and also putting our new talent the uh, into the bath and see how they operate in front of the best player in the world and also the superstar that sometimes are the same, sometimes are not, and that's important for new players or for me to see how new players are gonna stand the pressure against Anthony, against Brian, uh, against Duda.
Nathan and
On
all
that's
the
it.
all the
Yeah,
big names.
all the big names. They are and they have their own way to uh, install the atmosphere on a game. It's not the same. Sean, that is not playing anymore, but has his way. Anthony has his way. I have my way, and
Park has his way.
that's it. And seeing how those players that are for sure very good, because otherwise they would not be on the team, uh, operate in this kind of atmosphere and facing those kind of personality is important. So that's a good experience for a captain.
Yeah, and if we haven't hyped the event enough already, I also think that it comes in quite a convenient time in the calendar year. So it's like midway between two WTCs. So having said that, does it also play a I mean, you've both already stated that it does sort of play a function in the selection process, but where are you guys in the selection process? So how did it start with how many candidates, etc., etc.? And let's start with Team Germany.
So as I'm German captain, yeah, I will enlighten you on the selection process.
Enlighten us.
Uh, okay, go on.
We have it took some time for our application process to start. So it started in the end of December, and we are currently talking to the people who applied for the team. In the meantime, we had, I believe, from September or early October at least, we had our coaching team together. So we have like a first team and a second team, and we have 8 players on each team, with the whole selection process being that the coaches decided, yeah, I like what you did at WTC, I like what you did in the tournament year in the German finals, whatever, team tournaments. And with these 2 teams we are running at the moment, the process is that after every 8-man tournament, we evaluate, look who worked enough, who did play well enough, and he can stay on the first team. And if he didn't work enough and didn't play well enough, he goes into the second team. And if you do not work enough on the second team and play not well enough on the second team, you are out of the team.
Okay, fair. And which team's coming to Pyra? Is it the first team, the A team, or the B
It's the
team?
first. Yeah, it's the first team. Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay. On French side, new method this year. So the classic method is you start with a large pool and then you shorten the pool. So at the end you have 8 to 10 men or 12 men
Mhm.
or women. Mhm. This year
Okay.
we decided to do it a little bit differently because, as I said, Now the objective is trying to get the same performance with less efforts. It means we have to allow people to enter the collective, not aiming for the next WTC, but aiming to make the team for the next or the second or the third WTC. So a WTC among the three following WTC. So that means shorten the team now is not exclusive. So we start with like a pool of 33, 34 people. And we end with that the same pool because it's a pool that is supposed to aim for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, it's a long-term perspective.
Yeah, that's it. But still, at some point, and it was like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, with this questionnaire I've told you about, we've shortened the pool, or narrowed the pool to like 20 for this year, and it's not definitive. People can get out or in, but I've sent signal that those 20 are being observed very particularly and are going to be now mobilized for the in real life season, because of the first part of the season we are having a very intensive scrim season from October to Pyra February, like 2 scrim a month at least. And now we are having one international event a month, so changes a bit the tempo, but that's how we operate. And those 20, I haven't decided yet how I will narrow the pool and when, but eventually it's going to be 12 men and women to make the team. Don't know why, don't know when. This year the objective is making sure we have those 20 guys ready, and try to select to make a decision based on meta, and not on who we've selected before we knew the meta.
Yeah.
That's something that is very
Same
cocky.
here.
Yeah. Smart.
That's very difficult.
Yeah.
And how do you keep, or maybe, I don't know if it's the moment to ask this question in mid-season, but how do you keep interest of the people that are not closely observed? And are they active later on, like actively participating in, I don't know, testing, list building, what have you?
Well, so we have a Discord that is pretty active, and I think the people that are within the Discord feel it is a privilege to be there, because they belong to French team or local team, and not every member of the team make the Discord. So they they should feel privileged to be within this Discord, because it's free in France, free. So that's one point that should make sure they still are mobilized to share and to build and to participate to matrix building and interaction. The other thing is the community, even the international community, is very narrow. So this year I'm captain. Nobody knows who is going to be captain next year. It might be me again. It was me 2 years before. So and anyway, any other captain that would be captain next year would think that someone that has given up the work on the Discord and on the collective effort, just because it's not part of the shortcut. You're not scoring points there. So it is pretty obvious that if you say at the start of the year, I want to be part of the team anytime during the 3 years, so I'm making myself available and I'm going to work hard. So that's the promise. If you stop the work the second you're not selected into a shortcut, you're not sincere. So it is, and you're not stealthy on your insincerity.
Malte, give us the numbers for Germany. So, like, how many people you have that are willing to try out for the team, and then what numbers are you looking at to just finish? Is it the 16 of like team A, team B, or is there more?
So we have like the 16, and then I would say we have like 3 or 4 more potential members. So around about 20 overall. Of course, things happen, and I'm with Olivier. Like, if you want to show the effort, you will show the effort. If you don't show the effort, you're not willing. This is you can try to motivate guys, but I'm not a big fan of it because I'm sitting on the point. But if you need to motivate them,
Yeah. If you
It's
need to
not the right
motivate them,
approach.
yeah, your pool is not deep enough.
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, to be fair, maybe our pool is just deep enough because, like I tell you guys every time again, the player pool in Germany is a lot smaller than people think. But we try, and I believe we will get 8 motivated people to WTC in the end.
All right.
And of course, already I see it because we have now, because we decide on the new team after every team event. We already have like these moments of, okay, I'm not longer selected for the first team. What the hell? And maybe the motivation drops, and
Or it boosts.
of course,
Depends.
also
Depends
for me
how
as
how
coach, it's
someone.
hard.
Yeah.
I have to cut
That's-
people. I'm cutting. I already cut people. I already cut friends from the team. This is especially hard, of course. But this is what we try this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to, because oftentimes when we're getting closer to WTC, obviously the first teams, the guys that have been picked, are motivated, but you need these guys that didn't get picked to help test, list build, etc. Because the metagame is so broad right now, right? And these guys might not necessarily have that motivation after they haven't been selected, or they might actually, just turn around and say, okay, I'm not playing with you guys if you didn't pick me. We've had those situations. So that's why I was asking this question. That's something I find really interesting and kind of out of ideas how to solve it. And it's a real problem for us at times.
I think. Olivier, one second. I think.
Go on, Malte.
I think for us this year, it's working. It's working. In the end, not everybody, of course, of 16 is going all in, but I think we have like a good system that says, okay, you're not playing in the first team at the moment. Go out there, kill it on singles tournament, play 5-man tournaments, win the 5-man tournaments, show us your elevations, show us what you got on points, and where's always the chance that people can play, can get into the first team again. So it's like nothing is set in stone, and so we have like a fluctuation of 2 to 3 players. I hope we get, of course, get a core together that works till the summer. But there's always the possibility to get into the team.
So 2 things. One, I don't know if you guys can see the comments on YouTube, but one wonderful comment appeared from Gaius. This one: I think Germany has enough motivated people in the pool, and more. Malte is doing a great job, from what I hear. So kudos to you, because your efforts are being seen.
And no one is talking about me.
Yeah, you're such a letdown. I don't know, man. Yeah.
No,
But
there was one earlier with a lot of love for the French process.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know
There we
if you
go.
want to take the credit for it. I mean, no one's going to shoot you here, so.
No worries.
There you go. There is balance in
No,
nature.
no, it's not. I was getting emotional about not being quoted on Germany's side, but yeah. Well, this part is very. The question you were asking about how you um, mitigate the effect of not selecting a person and on the long term is very interesting. I think it's not the same issue depending on the how deep the pool is, because on my position I will be very thoroughly observed on am I getting fair on who I select. So am I not getting on into the side of nepotism and choosing old glory veteran that have been great and surely are going to be good, but are not giving as many effort and as many work than the new guys. So if someone is getting upset and says, "Okay, now it's without me." Well, in France it's gonna be well, but now it's without you, and really nowhere is. Still, we do not have a pool that is deep enough to say we can afford to lose top word player on a non-selection process. So we are also trying to make sure the selection process is not one guy; it's quite collective. So that's questionnaire we have um, published helped a lot to force the player to stand in my shoes and get a taste of what it is to cut your friend because he's not as good as those other two, and to write it down on the questionnaire, even if it's not public. They know I will see it, and if they write something that is delusional, I will judge it also. So that is different if you are having a low a more narrow pool that cannot afford to lose one of the leader, of course. And we were on that spot in France through 2 or 3 years ago. I would say time is an ally, because when you get frustrated or get a player frustrated about the selection and not being selected, there's only one national team, so he's going to come back, and you have to make sure you are being fair with him and you are making a space for him to come back, and that's it. I would say.
So, Olivier, when you were, I mean, this will be a question to both of you, but when you were answering the previous question, you did mention the meta as well,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to ask about the selection process from the perspective of the meta, and maybe Malte, I'll start with you because you mentioned a couple of times that your player pool is not as big as the French. It's comparable to the Polish one, probably. So I guess it can happen that you will end up in a situation where there is a meta army, but no player to field with that army. Is it a probability, or is your pool, despite being small, rich enough to have a player for 8 different factions that can play them reliably?
No, it's not even a probability. It's definitive. So, Nation Cup, we would have taken another army if we had the player for it. For Pyra Cup, we would have taken another army if we would have the player for it. So yes, this is a result of that.
And are you going to try and, out of lack of a better word, push players into an army before the WTC just to make sure that you're bringing the top meta army, or are you leaving the army choice to the players and do you want them to feel as comfortable as possible with whatever they are choosing?
Yeah, or at least you have the coverage for testing.
I'm sorry, Joker.
Or at least you have the coverage for testing for all the factions. Maybe not necessarily, bring them to the event, but have someone at the level to pilot an army well enough to be able to give reliable tests.
I think to answer Joker's question first, because it's a little, I believe one of the reasons we had like horrible numbers in our expectations in some of the WTCs, or not horrible numbers, but the numbers were quite right, was because we tested versus our national specialists on factions, but didn't play these factions as well, by far not as well as some international players. So we had completely wrong numbers. So nope, I don't think we have the capacities. At least for some factions, for a lot of factions, we have some really good players to test on WTC level against some factions. Of course, I'm trying to send some people, especially from the second squad, or especially where we like perfect example, Wotan. We talked about Tim Schneider, who from last time we talked, won the German championship with Wotan, because Wotan, of course. No idea why you guys aren't terrorized by Wotan, but whatever. And we have like some other really good Wotan players who might also make the squad, might also make the first squad. And of course, I'm talking with them from, I believe, since September or October. Look for a second faction, concentrate on the second faction, because if we take Wotan, we have a player for it. So we try as best as we can, but in the end, for some factions, there is no player.
Yeah, to be honest, we struggle with the same issues. As I said, we all agree in the collective that we are having uh, uh, spots on the meta that are not covered by trustful player. We are having a large enough pool and aspiring player to test, but still the tests are not do not have the same value. So you could test twice, 3 times, or 10 times Word Eater. If you haven't played Anthony, you
It's
haven't
not
you haven't tried Word Eater. And
Yeah, so
that
true.
that's so true. Yeah. So so we have spot that we do not have player trustful enough to, or trustful to play them, but we are not forcing anyone to go there, and it's gonna be unavoidable, and I'm not trying to avoid it because I am deeply uh, sure, or that pleasure has to come first in our hobby, and you are not good if you're not getting pleasure out of your army. So that's 100% for me. So what I do is making explicit at the start of the season and after this kind of a revelation of the questionnaire that it would be in the collective interest if someone step up on this or this army,
Yeah.
making sure it has to be aligned with the pleasure, the game pleasure. I all the time make sure this is clear, but if it's in the collective interest for someone to take, for example, AdMech that has very few players, at least in France. I know Poland has a lot of AdMech player, but France we don't.
Not a lot.
Yeah, a lot compared to France, and uh, so I make sure the team knows where we have to put some effort, but it's completely free. And if someone step up enough, it is gonna be in his interest, and he's going to maximize his chance to make the team. But that's it.
Yeah, I mean, similarly to Wotan in Germany, in France, if you're playing Space Marines, you might as well play a different faction, right? Especially this year.
uh, I don't know what to say. I don't know. Wait. Well,
Interesting.
you are right to address this question because it was one of a question at the start of my captaincy. Are you going to be a playing captain? Are you going to be a coach captain?
Mhm.
How are you going to select yourself if you want to play? That's all valid question. I think so. I've made sure, and I will make sure the my case is going to be solved by a collective. Though, so I've selected at the start of the season a triumvirate of what I've called
Mhm.
meta watch. So 3 very experienced and veteran player among the world champion. That is proposing every selection. I'm slightly correcting or accepting that way for every scream and every event.
Okay.
And I feel that those 3 guys are gonna be mainly responsible for the decision that is concerning my selection as a player or as a coach captain. Still, even if I'm playing, I there's no way the team operates with a captain that is playing. So I'm naming for Pyra, for example, I'm naming what I call a round captain. So it's not a coach, it's not a main coach, it's the captain locally during the round. It's going to be Quinto, our Elda player, world champion,
Mhm.
and he's going to lead the team during those in between moments, in between the rounds, and also during the round. So I do not need this mental charge if I'm playing on the board.
That's fantastic. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Right.
So maybe since we touched up, I mean, Joker, I don't know if you wanted to take it that way, but I'm completely taking over this. So, Malte, a question
The
to you.
usual.
I'm sorry. No, seriously, I'm like really curious because I wanted to ask about the meta going into Pyra, and I am aware of the fact that based on different regions where you play, different countries where you play, different styles and systems, obviously here it's the same, but your perception of the meta can be different. So, what is the German perception of the meta going into this event? And we're going to try and compare it with the French perception of the meta. How do you perceive it? I'm not asking what you're bringing because that might be still a secret. I don't know. But like, how do you see the meta? What are the meta bullies? What are some armies that do well? Something that maybe you are considering.
I mean, it's a sign of our openness now, and that we are in the stage of sharing our secrets. I can already tell you that we will be bringing Vota
Embrace the
to
sharing.
the Pyra Cup.
Tell us something we didn't know.
To be honest, I don't know. Like, in my opinion, I think I might have a grasp on the meta. To be honest, I don't think I have a grasp on the meta. I think we have so many factions, different detachments. I believe, especially now with the Grotmus detachments, this meta is so versatile. I believe there are a lot more than the usual, like 8 or 9 factions you are bringing, and yeah, I'm really curious, to be honest, to see what the people will bring to Pyra Cup. Of course, we have an idea, but I have really no idea of the
You're
at this
giving them
point of the ideas,
free
right?
hand, basically. Like, bring what you want.
Yes, a little bit. Yes.
Interesting. Oliver?
Yeah, I would say at the moment the meta is very rich, and I love it. And also very renewed by the Grotmus detachment. We will see probably in Pyra the usual suspects we always see in team events, like 4 codex block that makes the rosters. I would say there's Space Marine, for example, or Necron, or the New Eldar, or Astra. I think they are going to be very frequent. And after that, that is very pleasant at the moment, and it's been, I would say, a year or almost a year like that. The 4 or the 5 last codex are wide open amongst like 10 or 12 or even more, really depending on the talent you are having. So Poland is going to play Radzon for sure. We are not going to play Admech for sure as well. We are having a lot of a very good Ghost Space Marine player. So I would be very surprised if we do not bring Ghost Space Marine, etc. So that I find very interesting, because it's not only depending on how badly Game Workshop write the rule, but it is depending on how skilled your player are and are able to operate what the rule are, and well written by Game Workshop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And then
100%.
is there, I guess, with the current meta and the Grotfins detachments, it is a justified question. Is there room for creativity with the lists now? So, like, Oliver, you are known and well recognized as someone who almost reinvents the army by bringing like 100 models or something in Space Marines, and other stuff as well. But right now, do Space Marines, for example, have a certain archetype that people navigate to, like, I don't know, Ultramarines or something, or maybe Deathwatch after LVO? Or is there room for creativity and someone might come with Flamestorm or Anvil or whatever? How do you feel
Well,
about that?
there, in my opinion, there is always room for creativity in such a reach codex. So all the time.
Mhm.
The moment where the creativity is lessered by something is when you have a detachment that is way better than the others. It doesn't mean you do not have solution on others. It means it is very suspicious not to take the best detachment that is on the verge to being nerfed. I feel we are a bit in that spot in Space Marine at the moment. The Oath of Movement is very good. Ultramarine has 2 Oaths of Movement. Calgar is very good. So Ultramarine are very, very, very good at the moment. Doesn't mean you do not have any solution outside that. Blood Angel are very nice as well. Even without the +1 to wounds, with the Blood Angel characters and units, they are they have very nice push ability that are making the matrix weird on the opposite side, because if you are counting on Ultramarine or Necron that are thriving on farming a very close
Castle.
position, then suddenly you are facing someone that will decide where he's going to strike on the board, and there's nothing you can do about it. So that's an example, but also the Hunter, the Company of Hunter that has been that I've brought to Atlanta and Leoben, and has been buffed right after. So there's plenty of things you could do, in my opinion. Also Space Wolf, also Death Watch, but at the moment Ultramarines are very narrow, very nasty. So in my opinion, we'll see Ultramarines dominate the Space Marine meta, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna be different this time. Not sure.
Okay.
I saw your list
Nice
being
that we have
Ultramarines at some other event recently, and I was like, a part of me died at that moment. I felt
Yeah,
like,
my
okay,
difference. So you've seen part of my difference on the speeder. That's it.
All right, Malte, a question to you. I mean, on the same sort of note, tell us something about German innovation. Is there anything apart from Photon, maybe, that the Germans uniquely do or bring or see potential in? I don't know, like a niche Death Guard list, or I don't know, you name it, a sisters list that's out of nowhere might actually rock the stage in the team's environment. Anything interesting going on in Germany right now? Something
No.
that maybe drew your attention?
I
Nothing.
can. This can be really fast.
The German secrecy.
No. Like really, in my opinion, we need to get to be more creative, to get like underdeck detachments that maybe somebody hasn't really realized. So we get a slight advantage versus nations that might have or just have 8 better players than we have. So. But at the moment, there is no other big secret people play. I don't think we have any detachment that will surprise anybody at Pyra Cup. So
It will be lovely to have the same conversation after Pyra to see like whether you got inspired by what you see over there and so
yes,
on.
I hope so.
I'll definitely have to catch up with you on that. Right.
yes, I think we'll be wrapping up with that. We've been blabbering on for a while, and we don't want to take up more time of our guests. It's late. So thank you, Malte and Oliver, for joining in. It was a pleasure to have you guys on.
Yeah, pleasure shared.
Thank you very much. It was nice again.
And thank you to everyone who's tuned in live, and to everyone that might be re-listening to this at a later moment in time. Thank you to our sponsors, The Army Painter and Weyland-Yutani. Thank you to our Patreons. And thank you to Gaius, who's been very active in the comment section this evening. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe, hit the bell button. You know the drill. Consider becoming a patron, definitely. Yes. And with that, we bid you a goodbye until next week, where we'll be having the USA and Sweden representatives still talking about Pyra.
Let's go.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye.